Hey guys, welcome back again to another weekly update. We're here to tell you what has been happening in Guerrilla Games in the world of video games and magic.
Yep.
So let's get into it. As you can see by my lovely spread here, Batman came out this week. So did NBA 2K17 came out today, the early tip-off edition, and NHL 17. I don't play a lot of sports games, so I haven't really played those much, but I did play a lot of Batman.
Nice. Yeah. I'll talk a little bit about NBA 2K17.
Cool.
So
Yeah. Go for it.
Okay.
Start with that.
Yeah. So I think one of the coolest things that they did with NBA 2K17 is they actually released a free pregame that was called the Prelude.
Yeah.
And it basically let you make your character and play through some games before the game even started. So it just helped get people hyped for NBA 2K17.
And they are hyped for it.
Exactly.
There's been a lot of people asking about it.
And there's actually, in this year, in the My Career mode, there's a lot of actors and scenes and things. They even got Michael B. Jordan, who was in Fantastic Four, and some other, actual big-scale Hollywood films. So I think that was really cool that they dedicated that much into the story of the game.
Yeah.
They also apparently revamped their My GM and My League modes. You can go really in-depth with things. You can play through the games. One of the things that they actually said is that, in the My League mode, players will start, asking for more money against their contract and things like that. And it's basically anything that you could think of being the GM you would have to deal with.
That's pretty cool. I could get into that.
Yeah.
Because I like playing sports, but I don't like video game sports.
One of the things that I actually sounded really cool, apparently this is their 5th year doing it, they have a My Team mode, and basically what you do is you build up a team with trading cards, and then as you go on, you can unlock more cards by buying more booster packs.
Oh, okay.
So obviously that appeals to me as a card gamer.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool. They have 120 different licensed songs on it, and it's curated by Grimes, Noah Shabib, and Imagine Dragons.
They've been doing that for the last few years too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, with all the licensed music, but very cool.
Yeah, so it sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I also don't really play a lot of sports games, but I was very intrigued by the Prelude.
That does seem cool
for sure.
Yeah, so if you're into NBA, it's probably something you want to check out. I know the NBA guys are always. Even more so than Madden, it seems like they're all about getting that new one. Because they do cool stuff like this, where I feel like Madden really doesn't.
It's very stagnant. Yeah, I know. I don't know if it was last year or the year before. They had Jay-Z did a whole thing. Then they had one with Spike Lee.
Yeah, NBA.
Did NBA. Spike Lee did a whole thing with them.
That was last year, right? I believe.
Yeah, so it's clear that they're trying to step up.
They try to make it fresh every year, which is totally cool. But yeah. So check that out if you're into NBA. I played through the first episode of Telltale's new Batman game. I really liked it. At first, I was a little. I like Telltale's games. I always have. There are a lot of events, quick time events. Choosing your actions. Your actions dictate how the story goes. So it's more of that. At the very beginning, it may be me being nitpicky, but it bugged me that the lips on everyone do not match what they're saying. It's like I'm watching a dubbed Japanese film. And that bugged me for almost the whole game. About halfway through, the story gets really, really good and interesting. It's kind of your typical Batman, his parents die, all that jazz. There's some characters that people will recognize for sure. Spoiler alert. I'm going to go into it a little bit, but there's Selena Kyle's.
So jump ahead 2 minutes.
Yeah. There's Selena Kyle's in there, Harvey Dent is there. Even Cobblepot is in there.
Okay.
So they're setting up all this stuff that if you're a Batman fan, you obviously know is kind of coming. But they're going down a new road with it too, with the whole mob thing, because Falcone's in it and stuff like that. And it's interesting. It totally intrigued me by the end of it. I was like, oh, I can't wait for episode 2 now. So I highly recommend it.
So would you say it's like a prequel to Batman becoming Batman, or is it like...
No, he is Batman.
Okay.
He is Batman at the beginning of it. He's been Batman at the beginning of it. Alfred's in there. He's all, why are you doing this, Bruce? You're gonna kill yourself.
So what's the main event that kicks off the story, or have you not gotten that yet?
No, that kind of is the entire first episode. It's basically Falcone is... Well, you don't know if it's Falcone, actually. There might be even somebody else. But they're trying to make Bruce's family look like part of the mob. So his mom and dad. It was really interesting because I kind of didn't see that coming until the end. But yeah, so Harvey Dent is running for mayor. So he is the district attorney right now, and he's running for mayor. And Bruce is helping him.
Gotcha.
And then Falcone wants Bruce in his pocket because Harvey is obviously already in his pocket. You kind of find out, and Harvey's like, "Come on, Bruce, you got to do this to help me," you know. And Bruce, again, it's your choice. You can kind of pick your. So the way I played it may be completely different than the way other people play it, and it may affect the outcome. But that's kind of the gist of it. I chose to be like, you know, screw you, Falcone. I am not going to go along with this. And so then that's when the whole kind of framing Bruce Wayne kind of thing comes in. And you're like at a press event, and they start asking these questions, and all of a sudden it's like, well, what are you talking about? You know, my family's innocent, and then you have to go and investigate it and figure out what's going on with that. And that's kind of the culmination of the first episode.
Nice.
And then it was really good. I loved it. So yeah, totally check it out if you're into Batman, which
like most people are.
Most people are, even if you don't like DC, like me. I still love Batman, you know. It's totally worth checking out, and it's done by Telltale, so you know it's going to be a good story because they always put out quality stories. But yeah, so that's it for video games for this week.
So in the world of Magic, they released the full spoilers for Kaladesh today. Pre-release is only in 1 week, so they usually do that about a week before it drops.
Yep. It's next weekend.
Yeah.
It's like, here, hey.
So last time that we talked, there's been a bunch of cards that have been spoiled, so I'm just going to kind of run down most of the major ones. So number one, the one that everybody was, you know, anxiously anticipating was what was going to be the fourth Planeswalker. A lot of people thought that it was going to be Tezzeret. It ended up that it was Dovin Baan, which if you've read any of the lore stories, Dovin Baan is basically this like really, really like prim and proper, like no nonsense, by the books kind of enforcer for the consulate from Kaladesh. So he is a blue and white planeswalker, 2 colorless, white and blue, comes in with 3 loyalty. His +1 is -3, like -3 power to a creature, and it can't activate activated abilities. His -1, gain 2 life and draw a card, and then -7, you get an emblem with your opponents can't untap more than 2 permanents during their untap step.
Which is kind of huge.
It is.
I mean, that's nuts.
It's a one-sided static orb,
yeah.
Which is pretty insane. But he's pretty much a prototype blue-white planeswalker.
Yeah.
It seems like they're really in love with this give a creature minus power. For a while, they were very in love with the we'll make a 1/1 token or an 0/1 token. Now it seems to be instead of advancing your board, you're slightly setting back your opponent's clock a little bit. The most interesting thing, though, is I feel like his -1 is infinitely better than his +1.
What was his -1 again?
His -1 is gain 2 life and draw a card.
Oh, yeah.
And you can do that 3 times.
Yeah.
Which, it's going to be weird to see if Dovin Baan... He has a very powerful ultimate, but it's going to be weird to see if anybody actually uses that in the game.
Or they just go for the negative one.
Because I feel that the +1... doesn't really affect the board state a lot. It's not really giving you any kind of advantage.
Right.
And it's going to take you quite a bit to get up to the -7. The -1, you can just do that, boom, 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 3 turns in a row. You're up 3 cards, you're up 6 life.
Yeah.
That's going to be very difficult for you to come back from. So I think Dovin Baan, we're going to be seeing him a lot. He looks quite good. The card that I personally was most excited for and was, to be completely honest, a little bit let down by, but it's the Combustible Gear Hulk. I've been saying that I want there to be a really, really sweet big red creature. Right now, the sweetest big red creature that you can find is Inferno Titan, and then after that, it's a pretty steep drop-off. There's Stormbreath Dragon, which sees some play. There's Thundermaw that sees some play, but really, like, Inferno Titan is the bee's knees.
Yeah.
So Combustible Gear Hulk is 4 colorless, 2 red, for an artifact creature construct, 6/6 first strike, which that's pretty good. 6/6 for 6 mana for 6/6 first strike. When it enters the battlefield, target opponent may have you draw 3 cards. All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Sweet. Yeah, awesome. If the player doesn't, put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard. Then Combustible Gear Hulk deals damage to that player equal to the total converted mana cost of those cards. So this is the classic red dilemma of here's a really sweet card with 2 really sweet abilities, but because it's a choice, your opponent is always going to pick the worst one.
Yeah.
So if you have no cards in your hand, they're just going to be like, sure, mill 3 cards.
Yeah.
Oh, you milled like 2
lands and
2 lands and a galvanic blast. Okay, I take 1 damage. So because red is so full of really cheap removal spells, really cheap interactive spells, all these really sweet fast creatures, I don't think that it's going to be doing a terrible lot. Obviously, in like mono red control builds, I feel like it's probably going to be good. But because it is always going to be the worst between draw 3 cards or deal damage equal to the things you mill,
right.
I just don't have high expectations for it. I hope it's going to be sweet. I love playing with red. Like I said, I was hoping that there's going to be a really big, sweet red creature to either replace Inferno Titan or go alongside it.
Yeah.
Another really cool card that came out is Fumigate. So Fumigate, I think, is going to really define the format because prior to this, Black had the best sweeper in Languish, 4 mana, -4/-4 to all creatures. Now it seems like White is getting all of the really good sweepers back, which I've been playing for a long time. Wrath was always a staple. Then there was Planar Outburst, that sort of thing. So Fumigate is 3 colorless, 2 white for sorcery, destroy all creatures. You gain 1 life for each creature destroyed this way. So it's going to help you clear the board. It's going to help you gain life. There's actually a lot of white and black sub-themes of gaining life in this block. So I think Fumigate's really going to be the go-to sweeper, probably alongside something like Descend Upon the Sinful, just to sweep up anything that can't be destroyed. Another really cool white card that I think is also we're going to be seeing all over is Toolcraft Exemplar. So the thing about Toolcraft Exemplar is it doesn't seem that great. It's 1 white mana for a 1/1 creature dwarf artificer. You're like, oh, okay, we've seen like a million. Yeah, we've seen a million 1/1s for 1. What's so great about it?
Right.
At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control an artifact, Toolcraft Exemplar gets +2/+1 until end of turn. If you control 3 or more artifacts, it gains first strike until end of turn. They made a 1 mana 3/2.
Yeah.
Which is bonkers. Savannah Lions is a 2/1. Savannah Lions was awesome. Expedition Envoy is awesome. Kytheon was a 2/1 for 1. That's awesome.
Yeah.
This guy's a 3/2 for 1.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's going to be very easy to go like Toolcraft Exemplar into like a 2 mana vehicle into some other 3 mana thing, and then just start beating people down.
You
with
could
it.
throw them into your Bonesaw deck.
Yeah, exactly. swing for 4. Get in there.
Bam.
So White
that's...
Weenie was losing a lot of things because they were losing Kytheon. They were losing Knight of the White Orchid, but it looks like they're gaining a bunch from Toolcraft Exemplar.
It definitely looks like they're doing some stuff for White. For sure.
Obviously, you can find the full set spoiler.
They're all over
online. I personally go to Mythic Spoiler. You can also go to like MTG Goldfish. They're pretty good.
You can just Google it.
Yeah,
find
exactly.
them too. They're just
true.
everywhere. So, yeah.
And now that the full set spoiler is out, they've shown all 5 of the story cards. So the final story card was Consul. Basically, it's the story is Tezzeret is taking over, and that basically Tezzeret was behind the Inventors Fair, and it was so that he could steal everybody's inventions. So he's this like really, he's like a really bad Batman villain. That's like, yes, I will throw an Inventors Fair so that I can have all of the inventions.
Do you read the the lore stories?
I do.
You get through them?
Yes.
Because I try every time, and they're just so long.
They are. Some
of them are
really good. The good one from Kaladesh so far was actually the very first one.
That's the one I'm partway through.
Because I think they give Chandra such like this really cool like awkward character trait where she's just like running around and like not looking at any other members of the Gatewatch. So I think they did a really good job with the characterization of Chandra in that one.
Cool.
The other big news is the Masterpiece series. Mm-hmm. So, for any of you that were around for Battle for Zendikar, you'll remember Expeditions. Expeditions are basically going to be in every set going forward, including Kaladesh. The Masterpiece flavor for Kaladesh is going to be inventions. So they're going to be things that were being featured at the Inventors Fair. There's going to be about 50 in every Masterpiece series. There's 30 in Kaladesh, 24 in Aether Revolt, so they're going to keep around that number going forward. So yeah, I'm excited to crack open masterpieces. Probably the funniest thing about it is they are actually legal if you draft them. They are in your draft.
Oh,
so if you open up,
so drafts could become
if
very
you open up a
interesting
Soul Ring
on Thursdays.
if you open up a Soul Ring, you can play with that Soul Ring, and then you'll probably win the draft.
What about in League, too?
Yeah, same thing.
So in our League, they will totally be legal, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Very cool.
So that's a bunch of things that I'm looking forward to.
And then pre-release is next weekend.
It's true.
So if you want to get in on it, we've still got spots available, and it's going to be awesome.
For $20, you could open a $230 card.
You totally could.
You get 6 shots at it.
And you could see all of our awesome Thopters.
Yes.
And
I will have to say,
these are the coolest things.
Hands up.
Wizards
big ups to
ever
Wizards.
said. Yeah.
Worlds, if you guys didn't see any footage from Worlds, just look at Worlds 2016 Kaladesh.
Yeah.
The venue that they had made was amazing. It was fully steampunked out. It was in an Art Deco theater.
They had
absolutely
moving
gorgeous.
Stuff. Yeah, it was
the props that they sent us to put up are just
awesome.
Insane. This is hands down. This is probably the best.
It's definitely the most hyped. Yeah. The hype behind it that Wizards is putting behind it is nuts. And it's cool.
So,
it's very cool.
Props to Wizards. Continue to do it.
Yep. Come on in and see the stuff. It's hanging from the ceiling. It is. It's flying around the store. It's amazing.
No disrespect to Shaz over Innistrad. Because I love
these were cool.
Yeah. I love my little lanterns. I love my little spider.
They're all
lanterns,
over in the store here too. But yeah, it's very cool. So yeah, come out, pre-register for pre-release. We also have Halo 5 next weekend as well, on the same day as our Two-Headed Giant pre-release. So that is coming up. All of our other standard tournaments, all the Smash is going on. We do Mario Kart every month too, guys. We have a time trial. You just come in whenever you want. It's $3 to try and see if you can beat the best time. At the end of the month, the winners take home, they split the pot in store credit. So that's a lot of fun, too.
We've also been thinking about doing Mario Kart tournaments here in the store. If that's something that you guys would be interested in, please let us know. Sure. Literally any game that you think would be great in a tournament. If you're just hey, I want to see competitive Dynasty Warriors.
We'll try it.
Yeah, we'll try it out. If you can find enough people, we'll give it a shot.
We're all about running the tournaments here. Yeah. We also added Rocket League.
Oh, yeah.
So the week after Halo, which is next week, we will be doing Rocket League on that Sunday. And if that goes well, we'll probably just alternate Halo and Rocket League on Sundays. So look forward to that stuff. That's all I got.
Yeah. For Smash, we actually had some ranked players in here.
JJ Rockets was
JJ Rockets was here, so that was pretty sweet.
He took first.
We also, Raven King is a regular here, which everybody's
been doing really
He's been
good
taking over.
too.
Everybody's been saying that he should probably be on the power rankings for next season, which makes us super happy
because he comes to all of our events.
I love Raven King. he's
our
awesome. He's good friends with us. So
yeah, totally cool. So come out and check that out too. Every Saturday at 4 and 6 o'clock, we do Smash 4. So
I think that's about it.
That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.